So now it's December 12th, 1492. There's a really disturbing rumor going around the Yucayekes. By the end of today, your Yucayeque would have heard that a young Taino woman has been kidnapped. In our time, it's a Wednesday. The Taínos, it's the start of a nightmare. Maybe it's time to look for a new Yucayeque. Things are getting scary. But how exactly did the Taínos choose a place for their town? Let me share with you what this book, Taínos and Caribs, states about this. So it says on page 125, it says that although we do not know the norms used to locate Yucayeques, Oviedo mentioned that Taínos chose locations in the coast of the rivers, or near the sea, or in the areas that pleased them more and were more for their purposes. We obviously think that they probably had a ceremony, maybe asked their particular semi for a better location for a new Yucayeque. They might look at a arcabuco, which is a site filled with trees, or a manigua, which was a site that was just very dense, lots of vegetation. Through archaeology, we've been able to find out something amazing about the Yucayeques. We know that the homes changed over time in terms of size. And in 2010, we found out this. So I'm going to read to you again from here, page 125. It says, in 2010, Alice V. M. Sampson, member of the Caribbean Research Group at Leiden University, published the results of an archaeological excavation in El Cabo, Higüey, at the extreme east of the Dominican Republic. The research, covering 7 centuries, so 800 to 1504 AD, of the Yucayeque with 50 different domestic structures, so about 30 houses, concluded that the inhabitants rebuilt the same house in the same spot over the course of centuries, so that a particular house was just one stage in a long process of renewal. It concludes saying that in general, the houses can be classified in 4 types, all circular, from about 6 to 10 meters in diameter, and oriented in a dominantly westerly direction. And honestly, this got to me. They rebuilt the same house in the same spot over and over again. So it made me think of the word Yucayeque. And if we break it down a little bit, we know that the Taínos, the way they named things, each part had a meaning. So I know that que means tierra. Ye, I'm not so sure. Ca could be close to can, which means circular, like huracán. And then yu means people. So just taking those bits, it would be earth, I'm going to skip ye, center, people. So the center of the earth's people? Maybe. But the Yucayeques were designed a certain way. So if we see here in the picture, there's this house that has 2 poles is el cané, so the cacique's home, where everybody seems to be dancing. They're doing an areito, and this is in the bate. And the bate was always constructed in front of the cacique's house. So this was a public space that was used obviously for ceremonies like el areito, but it was also used for commercial transactions. Bartolomé de las Casas mentions that there was a crossroads that looked like a cross right where the bate was. So this, I think, is a perfect example. The bate was circular, and then here are the crossroads, and then here would be the cacique's house. The bohíos then would line all of these streets, I guess you can call them. And one of the main things to keep a town alive was the need for water. So I'm going to read to you what Fray Cipriano de Utrera, which was another missionary on the islands, he describes a communication that he had about la Yucayeque de Enrique en el Bauruco. So this is what it says. I'm going to read it to you in Spanish because originally everything's in Spanish. Y que junto a él tenía muy grandes yagüeyes a manera de cuevas para todos 400 personas, chicas y grandes. So he was talking about how next to the Yucayeque was un Cajuil. And the Cajuil was an area where they had fresh water or agua dulce for everybody in the village.